in my life. I tweeted back, I wrote, "Officer, I'd like to report a joke." And by the way, if she's gonna report me to the police, if that's how she wants to play it, I'll report you right back. And I won't go to the police, I'll go to the Justice League. Seal this up. I would like you to, you know who to bring this to, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Get this to Gotham City at once. And don't hesitate.
All right.
She's a snowflake and a sociopath at the same time. A snowciopath, as we now on.
Breaking news. Local funny man reports joke to the police. In a twist that would make even the Onion writers scratch their heads, Marjorie Taylor Greene actually tried to get Jimmy Kimmel arrested for a joke.
Cancel culture they're always talking about. So after processing the fact that someone called the police on me, believe it or not, this has never happened to me.
But hold on to your tinfoil hats, folks. Kimmel's response to this congressional Karen is more savage than a pack of Jewish space lasers. You won't believe what he called her. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Alright people, fasten your seatbelts because we are going to explore the crazy realm of political comedy, where jokes are reportedly more harmful than Jewish space lasers. You read correctly, we are discussing the conflict between late-night comedian Jimmy Kimmel and the conspiracy queen herself, Marjorie Taylor Greene, also known as MTG. Consider this scenario. MTG, in her unending wisdom, accuses 3 of her fellow Republicans of being pro-pedophiles simply for having backed Judge Jackson. That's a pretty standard thing to say about your coworkers, isn't it? With his keen sense of humor and talent for nicknames, Jimmy Kimmel enters the scene. Clan Mom is born after he glances at MTG's antics. He seems to have retrieved the ideal zinger from a bag of comedic gold. But there's still more. Unsatisfied with a single jab, Kimmel chooses to go back in time. He presents a best hits list of MTG's previous conspiracy theories to his audience. We're talking about 9/11 being an inside job and Jewish space lasers igniting wildfires. MTG is a full house, and it's like conspiracy theory bingo. You would think that a politician who has experienced controversy would be more resilient, but they are not. MTG becomes agitated more quickly than you can say fake news. She accuses Kimmel of threatening violence against her on Twitter.
She's a snowflake and a sociopath at the same time. A snowciopath, as we now on.
Since she does, of course. Jokes are more dangerous than Jewish space lasers, I suppose, in her world. This is where things start to get really crazy, though. In her virtuous outrage, MTG chooses to lodge a complaint with the Capitol Police over a joke. Give it some time to sink in.
ABC contacts my employer. This threat of violence against me by Jimmy Kimmel has been filed with the Capitol Police.
Calling the fire department because your ice cream is too cold is analogous to that. Kimmel, being the master of comedy that he is, couldn't help but respond. "Officer, I'd like to report a joke." He tweets. Let's face it, that is pure comedy gold.
In my life. I tweeted back, I wrote, "Officer, I'd like to report a joke."
It seems as though MTG is playing checkers with herself and he is playing chess. Folks, here's the real deal. Let's not overlook MTG's own turbulent past, even though she is complaining about a joke. This is the same individual who once advocated for the execution of Democratic politicians.
And repeatedly indicated support for executing prominent Democratic politicians. Now she's dialing 911 because she got made fun of.
What a twist in the plot. It's akin to brandishing a "execute all Democrats" sign while accusing someone of violence. The irony is so thick that a space laser could cut through it. People, it's not often that a politician tries to stop a comedian from making jokes. Now, however, MTG is acting like a complete snow-copath toward Jimmy Kimmel.
Federal equal time rule to declare that anti-Trump material broadcast by Saturday Night Live, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, and others was somehow illegal.
Yes, Kimmel came up with a new term for our favorite conspiracy queen, and it's more memorable than a Jewish space laser at a convention for tinfoil hats. What is causing MTG to get tangled this time? She apparently believes that Kimmel's jokes are a code that the violent left can use to target her.
That's who she called, the people she wanted to defund. It's amazing how quickly you can go from these liberals who can't see anything anymore to, what'd you say? I'm calling the cops.
What paranoia. In her tirade on social media, she even referred to him as a low-rated late-night loser. MTG. Ouch. Did you think about that zinger all night long? It gets really rich here, though. Kimmel is being silenced by MTG, the same person who constantly complains about cancel culture, more quickly than you can say conspiracy theory.
And by the way, if she's gonna report me to the police, if that's how she wants to play it, I'll report you right back. And I won't go to the police, I'll go to the Justice League.
Seeing someone whine about broken dishes is like watching a bull in a china shop. You could spread the irony on toast because it's so thick. Being the master of comedy that he is, Kimmel chose to escalate the situation. He reported MTG's actions in a fictitious letter to Batman. Yes, you read correctly, Batman.
I'm writing about a woman who might be a supervillain, like the Riddler.
While MTG is still figuring out how to set up the board, he seems to be playing 4D chess, and it's hilarious, I must say.
Seal this up. I would like you to, you know who to bring this to, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Get this to Gotham City at once, and don't hesitate.
All right.
But there's still more. This political soap opera is beginning to involve other Republicans. Some people are supporting MTG, most likely in an attempt to attract some of that adorable conspiracy theorists. Others are gradually retreating, as if they've just realized they entered the wrong party by mistake. MTG isn't satisfied with merely griping. They've now threatened to ban Kimmel from Twitter, because there's nothing that says I believe in free speech more than attempting to silence dissenting opinions.
Late night comedians for giving illegal campaign contributions to the Democratic Party in the form of jokes and on-air satire.
She seems to be tinkering with the First Amendment. Never one to back down from a good joke, Kimmel recommended that MTG purchase a tinfoil hat. Because, let's be honest, you might as well dress the part if you're going to believe in government conspiracies and space lasers. Political satire is evolving into a potent tool for fact-checking our leaders. It's no longer just for laughs. With their punchlines rather than their press passes, comedians like Trevor Noah and Jimmy Kimmel are essentially becoming the watchdogs of democracy. They're not merely making jokes, they're exposing significant problems and presenting them with a humorous twist.
The police and reported this. Not only did she call the police, she called the same police she voted against giving a congressional gold medal to.
They seem to have discovered a way to make difficult political subjects easier for the typical person to understand. A well-timed zinger can sometimes reveal political nonsense more effectively than 1,000 serious debates. Let's face it, it's difficult to maintain composure when acting ridiculously, and these comedians are experts at reflecting the ridiculousness of politics. Hey, if you're gonna act like a clown, we're gonna treat you like one, is essentially what they're saying. Ultimately, it all boils down to Kimmel's brilliant retort. It's amazing how quickly you go from liberals can't take jokes to I'm calling the cops. Talk about a powerful political joke.